With 17 correctional institutions and 6 private prisons dotting the state, incarceration in Oklahoma is more than a necessity. It's a business. But business is about to take a downturn in Sayre after nearly 2,000 inmates were returned to California. StateImpact Oklahoma is reporting on what this transfer means for the city. I spoke with StateImpact's Logan Layden. Logan, how many prisoners are being transferred from the North Fork facility in Sayre to California?
Well, that's going to be all the California prisoners there at the facility, and there's about 2,000 inmates there. I believe most of them are from California, so it's going to be most, if not all.
Why are they being moved?
Well, the answer to that is a little bit complicated. In California, they've been federally mandated to reduce their prison population, and so that's part of this plan. They've introduced a plan to keep low-risk offenders in county jails. That's freed up some beds, and so they're able to bring some of them home. They're not going to all go home immediately. Some are going to go to other states for a while, but eventually, by 2016, I believe, they need to be back in California. Of course, when I talk to people in Sayre, they offer a different explanation, that they simply don't have the workforce necessary there in Sayre to be able to provide for the number of prisoners that are at the prison right now.
And the housing for the workforce.
Absolutely. They don't have adequate housing there in Sayre to hold the number of people they need to work there at the prison, and so that's going to result in a drop in the number of prisoners out there.
So what will this do for the city of Sayre?
Well, when you talk to local people out there, they really, most of them that I talk to, like the prison a lot and really give it credit for, basically saving the town on a lot of levels. But they did mention to me there that they avoid using the money that they get from the prison on vital city services. So the hope is that, even if the whole thing goes under, which no one expects, that the town itself wouldn't be that badly damaged by it, other than losing, 400 jobs.
Right, and the prison is the biggest employer in the city.
It is the biggest employer in the city and the third biggest contributor to tax revenue to the city as well. So.
Does that include sales taxes?
That does include sales taxes. Anytime a prisoner buys an item out there, that goes partly to the city on the sales tax.
Commissary sales and the like.
Absolutely.
So this could be a big hit for Sayre, but right now people think that it is helping to save the city.
Right now, and talking to people out there, they expect even with this, even with just the reduction in the prison population, it's going to impact the city about $200,000 per year, which for a town like Sayre is a big deal.
How long has Oklahoma been housing prisoners from other states?
This was a trend, I believe, we started with building private prisons in the mid-90s, and I know with North Fork itself, that's been in operation since the late 90s, so it's been, 15 years or so at least.
How many private prisons are there now in Oklahoma, approximately?
It fluctuates some, but I believe there are 3 in operation right now.
Are any of the other prisons losing inmates for any reason?
Not that I've heard. Not to say it's not happening, but not that I've heard yet.
Where does this story go from here?
Well, we'll see what the long-term effect there is in Sayre. It's going to be another year and a half before these prisoners have to be out of there and back to California, and who knows what can happen in the meantime. I know their housing issues out there are something they're concerned about, and that's enough time to address those if they wanted to.
And there are no plans or need to close the prison in Sayre?
Nobody that I've talked to expects the prison to close outright. Nobody that I've talked to.
Logan Layden from StateImpact Oklahoma, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.